Hello, this short tutorial video will show you how to access the CESD Google for Education account. This is different than the public Google, and the reason why we have the Education Google set up is for ease of access for students to be able to share their documents with one another and collaborate, as well as to share with their teachers without the use and hassle of having to get an email address external from CESD in order to access those pieces. If you need more information on that, feel free to contact Learning Services at CESD and we can give you a hand with that. So the first thing that you're going to do in order to access it, so this would be for staff or students, the same directions, you would go to the CESD homepage. Here you go down to where it says Staff and Student Resources, and when you're on this page you would go down to where it says Learning and Communication. You would then find the CESD Google and Gmail, which you're going to select, which will bring you to the sign-in page. Now, if by accident a student or staff member has the sign-in appearing on the right-hand side, then you know that they're in the public Google, not in the private or inside the education Google Docs or education account. So here it asks for your user and password. Now, if you've used it before, it will be the same user and password as your email, your Moodle, virtual desktops. So all of them are all linked together. However, if you haven't used it since September of 2011, then you will need to go in and reset your password inside your chenookedge.ab.ca email. Once you change your password there, then all of the passwords will synchronize at midnight of the day that you change it, and then you'll be able to access this with the same user and password. Now that is only applicable for teachers. Students, every year their passwords are reset and they will log in with the same credentials that they use to access their computers at the school. So they will not have to go through the process of changing a password, nor will they have that option. So that part's just for teachers. So here I'm going to go ahead and sign in. And just to show you what that looks like. So I'm signing in with the same user and password, like I've mentioned, as my email. Whoops. So you will do the same once you've changed yours. Okay, and then once it's loaded, it will go automatically to the Google email. Now this I just give as a little bit of a caution for teachers. You already have your chenookedge.ab.ca one, and managing two emails is not much fun for work. So what I usually suggest that people do is go in under the settings and go in and change this as a teacher to be redirected to your chenookedge.ab.ca account. However, for students coming in, this is their school email that they will use, not for personal reasons, but they will use for educational purposes, such as signing up for various learning tools that they need within their learning content area within their curriculum. So right here I actually don't manage this. This is just kind of my junk email, if you will, and I make sure that it forwards to my CheNookedge. So in order to access the Google Docs, you'll notice that there's different tabs across the top here. So there's, right now we're in the mail. I just clicked on the calendar one and it's popping up the calendar. These you can use to create various calendars that can be shared, and many people use them as shared calendars for booking of equipment, that sort of thing, or it can be scheduled for a classroom. So you can create a class calendar and actually embed it on a wiki if you want to do so, or just have it as yourself. We're going to go to the docs portion. And I'm just going to show you how to create a simple document and how you can make that share ready in order to get others to collaborate to it, such as signing up for various activities. So you'll notice on the left hand side here I have different folders set up. So when you start to use your Google for Education account, it's really important that you set up the folder so that it makes sense, so you're organizing as you go. So depending on what you're teaching and what you're doing, you're going to have different folders. Here are the folders they refer to as my collections. So if I was going to create a collection, I would go to, or a folder, I would go to Create, Collection, and then I would create the name of a folder that I would like, and you can create subfolders as well. So that's how you organize those. Under the Create, you'll notice that you can do documents, presentations, spreadsheets, or form. So although I'm going to be showing document in this particular tutorial, I will show how or explain what the other ones do. So document is like a stripped down version of Word, and the benefit here is that you can use it to collaborate with others and be able to share and work on items collaboratively, and you can actually be able to see who has worked in what capacity within that document. So you can actually see what contributions have been made by each user. The power of this is that you can also access it anywhere that you have email, or I'm sorry, not email, anywhere you have internet access. So no longer would you have to worry about a storage device for the document that a student is working on or yourself. As long as you've got internet, you're able to access it. The presentation is like, again, a stripped down version of PowerPoint. And so how this benefits is you can have students actually creating a PowerPoint at the same time. So they could be working on two different pages within that one PowerPoint rather than one typing and one watching and switching as in the traditional sense. You can also upload themes from regular PowerPoint, and you can download back into onto the machine version too. Spreadsheets is like Excel, except it's also has less features, but again, the point here would be that you can collaborate again also, and any of these you can change back into the full-fledged Microsoft format when you're finished if you so chose. Form is used for surveys, which is quite nice. It's also good for formative assessment pieces. So you can have matching true false, range scales, long short answer surveys. So they're great for getting feedback from staff, students, or doing a snapshot for some kind of action research, for example. The drawing one allows you to be able to do some drawing functions, so you can do some shapes and that sort of thing. And again, you're able to create flowcharts or whatever it may be and be able to collaborate with those. So we're going to go ahead and go to create document. So really they call it Google Docs, but they should really call it Google Suite or something like that because it's much more than documents. Like I've just mentioned, there's several entities. So the first thing I usually do is I click on where it says Untitled Document, and then I give it a title. So here I'm going to call it Sample, and then go OK. And then you'll see it looks very similar to Word. So if I was going to create a sign-up sheet, for example, where I wanted to share this with many teachers in the district and just wanted to send them a link where they could populate it, they're filling into the same spreadsheet rather than sending an email and everyone adding to it, this is a great way to do so. So here I'm going to insert a table just with a header, and I'm just going to get one started here. Probably do a 2 by 15, how about? Okay, and then up at the top here I would have my description, so teacher, a number of participants, whatever it may be. I'm just gonna, so this, for example, could be for a track and field event. So actually, instead of teacher, I might just put school here instead, and then you could decide what you want your criteria to be here for your headers. Then you would send out this form, or not a form, but this document in order for people to be able to populate it with their information, and everyone who has a link would be able to see the up-to-date version. And so how you share this is you go up to the share icon, and you'll see all documents default to private only to me, and that's true when students do it also. So the first thing that I walk students through is to invite their teacher. So to do that, first of all, you would go down here where it says add people, and then they would add their teacher. So they would look by first, last name, for example. So if I was going to add, if Carmen was my teacher, which is myself, which is kind of silly, but anyways, if I was going to add my teacher, then that's how the students would do so. However, in this case, we're not wanting to add addresses for all people. We just want to make it so that when they have the link, it doesn't matter who has that link, they do not need to sign on in order to view that document. So in order to do that, we have to change this privacy to change so that anyone with the link can view it. So it says right here, anyone with the link can access, no sign-in required. And that's really important for things where it's not really sensitive information and you're just wanting it to be quick and people to click on the link and not have to worry about logging on, etc., especially if they've never used Google Docs before. There's other options here too. I would really suggest not using these two. There's been some issues with those, so anyone with a link works really well, or private. The other ones you don't really need to worry about. The one thing that you're going to need to change here is the can view, because you're wanting them to not just be able to view this table, but you're wanting them to be able to go in and populate it too. So you change this to can edit, and then you go save. Then it's going to take you to a page that gives you a URL. So this URL address I would then copy, and then I would go ahead and put that inside my email, and I could then send that to a person. So for example, if this was my email, I could go in and I'm just going to send it to myself for this demonstration, and I could say please fill in, and then I have the link provided here, and then I would send that off and they would be able to see that document, be able to edit it. Now from the owner who's created that document, you would be able to see what people have done. So I'm just going to go save and share. Oops, I'm sorry, I need to cancel out of here. Okay, so in order for you to view this document, what you would need to do is just go back into your document. So I'm going to close out of this. This has had a bit of an error there. And I'm going to refresh my page, and you're going to see my sample showing at the top here. So I would click on that. The owner of this document would do so. And then you can see what people have placed inside there. When you're finished with the document, you can delete it if you so chose to do so, or you can also just view the link that you sent out to everyone else to see how they've signed up. So that's a really quick and easy way to be able to get folks populating one document rather than one document being emailed to 35 people. You have 35 people going to the document. So it's much more efficient and a great way to collaborate. Hopefully that's helpful. If you need any further assistance, Learning Services is glad to help you. Thank you.